Welcome to our second video. In this video, we're going to have a look at creating the external walls for our house. So picking up where we left off, we are now just going to go across to the project browser and we can see the floor plans. And then we've got ground floor. So I'm going to double click on ground floor and we shoot over here. We can see these circles with the pointy arrows. These are our cameras and they generate the elevations. So we don't want to delete those. We may need to move them at times, but we might be okay today. I'm going to again just change the scale in the bottom left-hand corner from 1 to 100 to 1 to 50. We can see it's resized the cameras for us as well. So on the architecture tab, we've got the wall command. I'm just going to click wall architectural. And then in the properties, we can see that we've got different types of wall. This is the type selector with the little arrow next to it. And we have various walls here. Now, I'm going to select this one, which happens to be selected, and then I'm going to change it. So we have a wall exterior, 102 brickwork, 75 insulation, and 100 block work. And it's got an L before the block work showing it's lightweight block, and then 12p for plaster. So that's quite similar to the wall construction that I'm going to use, but it's not quite the same. So now, pointing at the edit type button, I'm going to click that and it brings up this type properties box. Very important that you duplicate before you do anything else. Otherwise you will overwrite the existing wall construction that's there. Now we've got to rename it. I'm going to only modify it slightly. I still want 102 brickwork, but I want a 50 cavity. And I don't want 75 insulation. We're going to really pack out our walls and make them super energy efficient and have 100 millimeters of insulation as well. So our wall is effectively 350 millimeters thick. Okay, now to actually make that the case with the construction of the wall, we need to go to the structure edit button, click that, and it brings up the edit assembly box. What we have here, we can see now the function of each element, the material that it's made from. We can make this box a bit wider, and that'll just help us to read what's in each box, the thickness, and whether it wraps or it's a structural material. We also can see we have these core boundaries. The core boundaries play a vital role within the program itself because it helps the program to recognize the main structural elements of whatever it is you are constructing. So if it's a wall, we have got it around the inner skin of blockwork, and the upper floors and the roof will sit on that. And having the core boundaries either side of it will enable that to happen accurately. Now, if we click on the numbers on the left-hand side, so I'm on number 2 now, the thermal air layer, and we've got this fiberglass bat, I'm going to insert a layer. This one, I'm going to make our thermal air layer again, and it is by category. So you click the little box here and it brings up the material browser. You can type in the name of the material in the search bar, or if you can see it, you can just click on it and say OK. So I've changed this to air, thickness 50 millimeters. My thermal air layer with the fiberglass bats, I'm going to change that to 100 millimeters. The core boundary, the lightweight concrete blockwork, and the plaster, I'm leaving those the same. But of course, if you had a different form of construction, you could change these. And for example, another common form of construction would be to have blockwork on the outer skin with render on the outside of that. So that would be quite easy to do by just adding new layers. Okay, and then changing the materials, the functions, and the thicknesses. If you have layers that you do not wish, you can click on them, press the delete button, and it will just delete that row. If you wish to move a layer, you can also press up and down and it will move it and sequence it. Just one point, it will never allow the two core boundaries to be physically adjacent. There always must be a row between them. Once we're done, click OK. And then I'm going to click OK again. We are now going to have a look at our options bar. What we have here is the height or depth of the wall. Well, we're going to have it on height. We don't want it unconnected. We want it to go up to the wall plate. The location line, this is the point where the wall is centered based on where you click with your cursor. So I'm going to do it on Finish Face Exterior. Chain enables you to just go from click to click to click, and the wall will just keep going round, rather than doing a click for the start and a click for the end of the wall, and then you have to start the next length of wall again. I don't want any offsets, and I'm not curving this wall, so there's no radius. We can just double check in the properties over here. Base constraint is ground floor. I actually want it a bit lower than that because I want it to go down to the external ground level, not just the internal floor. So I'm going to change that to -150 instead of 0 at the base offset. Top constraint is up to level 2, the wall plate, which I'm completely happy with. And there you go, that's just applied now. Now I'm going to do the actual house. So I'm going to put the cursor somewhere over by here between these cameras. Click. I'm going to go across 7 meters. So you can either move it and find the 7 meters, as you can see with the writing, and click, or you can just point it down and type with the keyboard the dimension and then press enter. So the house I am doing is 10 meters by 7 meters. Now, when you do the walls, do them in a clockwise direction. Otherwise, the hatching and the wall construction will be the wrong way round. Once you have drawn your walls, press escape, press it again, and we're out of the wall command altogether. If you did do any of the walls the wrong way round, you can click on the wall, press these little blue arrows, and it does swap them around. But what you will also notice is that it does change the position of the wall when you do so. So you would then need to correct the size of it. I will demonstrate that just quickly. So we'll undo that. That was not what we wanted. So we can just click on that number and change it like so. So we could make that 6500 and it would just bring it back in a bit. But of course we want the exterior size of the building. And to do that, we need to get these measurements on the outside, not the inside. So we got these little blue dots and we can just grab and drag those, and you can see that says 7230, and if you click on it, you could then type in the new number. Now I'm just going to put this wall back the way it should be, and then I'm going to zoom in and just make sure I grab that one and bring it to the outer face. There we go. And then do the same on this one and bring it to this outer face, and then change that back to 7000 so it's the right size. And there is my external walls. Now As we create this, we could have a little look in our project browser and go down to the 3D views and just open that up and double click on 3D. And you can see that we have created those external walls to our building.